Larry Merchant. Larry?
Since we aired Mike Tyson's fight with Mitch Green last spring, his second straight decision victory, there's been a small wave of healthy skepticism aimed at Tyson. Healthy, but in all likelihood, very misguided. The reason it's healthy is that Mike Tyson, after all, hasn't beaten any top opponents. His vaunted punch hasn't been tested against the best in the heavyweight division. And healthy also as a response to some of the media hysteria already tabbing this 20-year-old tyro as a certain future great. All of that still has to be proved. At the same time, a response to Mike Tyson that indicates that maybe he doesn't have the talent is a little bit contrary, I think. He's not yet a polished fighter and maybe never will be a fully polished fighter, but boy, he's a good one. And sometimes youth outruns and outguns its mistake. Who, after all, cares if Boris Becker has to work a little bit on his ground strokes, or if a good fastball pitcher has to work a little bit on his pickoff move? Tonight, we're going to take a look right now at the man who has to face Mike Tyson's 150-mile-an-hour serve and 100-mile fastball. That awesome pressure. Let's see him.
The island of Cuba recently marked the 27th anniversary of Fidel Castro and his communist regime. Among the many changes that came with Castro's communism was the elimination of all professional sports. In boxing, the last world champion was Kid Gavilan. Heroes like Teofilo Stevenson would remain amateurs. Jose Ribalta's family fled their Cuban homeland, and now this little-known heavyweight gets his chance to make a big splash.
Mike Tyson, here I come. Here I come. You better be ready. You better be ready. I'm getting a lot of media attention, and everybody around the neighborhood really just encouraged me for this fight and telling me that I could beat him, which I know I could beat him too. And I've been training real hard for this fight.
But who is Jose Ribalta? Well, his amateur career began about 10 years after his family left Cuba.
I met Jose at Moore Park. He was a big kid, about 12 years old, and me and him used to cut up a lot together, and we got to like each other. It was a group of guys that used to hang around together, and I used to have a lot of fun with them. So I started teaching Jose how to box, working on a heavy bag, and he went in the Golden Gloves. He won the Golden Gloves, and then he went to the Nationals. He won 4 fights in the Nationals. He went to the finals, and I was pretty proud of him at the time.
But the #2 amateur in the world decided not to wait around and compete in the 1984 Olympics. In an effort to help raise money for his family, Jose Ribalta turned pro in 1982. 3 years later, he faced top-ranked heavyweight James Bone Crusher Smith. Jose, with a record of 16 wins, 1 loss, and a draw, faced his first real test. In round 1, the man who gave Larry Holmes a tough time gave Ribalta a furious flurry that sent him to the canvas. But Jose took it in stride.
The only reason Bone Crusher knocked me down really in the first round because like my manager been St. Louis, Cuba, and telling me that Jose, you have to get a good sweat before you go in the ring, and that's one thing I didn't do in the Bone Crusher fight.
After round 1, Jose warmed up and took the best punches thrown by Bone Crusher, then threw a bevy of his own. By the end of 10 rounds, Jose and the crowd felt he'd turned the fight around, but the judges didn't. The decision was just as devastating as the first round knockdown.
Split decision. James Bone Crusher Smith.
I had a little bit of tears in my eyes because I feel so bad, really, because that's something that you work so hard for, all your life, and then, you get a time of opportunity like this, right, and all of a sudden, some judge, just boom, just don't want to give it to you. Just takes in a way, like, almost takes your dream away, something you worked so hard for.
I expect you to obey my commands.
4 months later, Jose was back in the ring, only to suffer yet another damaging loss, this time at the hands of Marvis Frazier. Although in his own mind, Ribalta feels this loss was the result of the impact of personal and managerial problems, he realizes that many question his ability to fight the man who put Frazier away in less than a minute. His response is quite simple and quite confident.
The only thing they're going to say is, oh, what is this? How can this guy right here lose to Frazier? and come back and beat Tyson, and Tyson knock Frazier out, that's what they're going to be trying to solve. That right? Yeah.
Over the last 6 months, it does seem that Jose might have solved his managerial problems. The addition of Luis de Cubas may prove to have the answer to Jose's future.
What Jose wasn't doing in the past was something very simple. He wasn't getting 30 minutes before the fight. He wasn't getting, I feel, ready. Not mentally, but he wasn't warmed up before the fight. We're going to be doing a lot of different things now. We did it for the Rich Keller fight here in Miami. We got him so warmed up that when he came to the first round, it's like he had fought 4 rounds. His eyes were right, his timing was right, his reflexes were right, and what hit Rich Keller was a bomb. That's all. Put him to sleep.
So far from the prying eyes and the glitz and glamour of the television cameras, Jose Ribalta has quietly gotten back to work. He's added 4 straight knockouts to his record, and all came within the first 5 rounds. In the eyes of his camp, Ribalta is now getting the fundamentals that he had lacked in the past. His camp feels ready. They feel the man is ready for Mike Tyson and ready for Jose's first televised fight in almost a year. This, they feel, is the big opportunity for Jose Ribalta, the boxer, and for a community that continues to seek its heroes.
I think the Latin community down here in Miami, I think it's looking for a star right now. You know, they got the Jose Canseco of the Oakland A's, which the Cuban people really took over. That's all they talk about in 8th Streets, about Jose Canseco. Now, you know, they talk about some fighters in the city, but I feel that if Jose Ribalta could beat Mike Tyson the way I know he's going to beat him, he's going to become a star across the country, not only across the country in Miami. I think that's what the Cuban people are looking for.
So all that's left for Jose Ribalta to do is, as the song says, go and get it. When you're facing Mike Tyson, however, that's probably a lot easier said than done. One thing is certain, the Ribalta family has provided the support and nurturing that Jose feels he must have. During training camp, he dropped 11 pounds, so he immediately picked himself up, packed his bags, and headed straight home to Mom.
So I just miss that home cooking and that family warmth, really, that I miss. I just feel really, it's just time for a Cuban champion, and really somebody, you know, to speak up for the Cubans now, really. Therefore, that's what I'm, you know, boxing too. I'm doing it for Cuban people, and especially for me. That's what I'm doing it for, really. And, you know, I'm going to fight Tyson. I'm just going to go out there and give it my best, you know.
Well, Mom must have whipped up a low-cal diet because Jose Ribalta came in at 211 pounds. He told us he